Hello everyone, this is Aaron again, of course. Here to do a quick video for you on something that I was upstairs working on something that I thought, I never shared this. So let's go down and do a quick video on it. But anyway, let's get into that right now. I don't know, probably a year ago or so, I did a video on a pellet backstop, a trap if you will, where it was free. All you do is get you a box, stuff it with rags, and it would become a very quiet, very safe, a very environmentally safe trap. And that you could go in and collect your pellets back out. You would not be putting pellet dust into the air if you're in the house. You would not be polluting the environment if you're outside. And I got a lot of positive comments on this, and a lot of people said that they made them and they loved them. I was upstairs today putting together a target holder for the range, and I thought to myself, Aaron, you need to share this. You've been doing it for a long time. Now, I've been doing this for years, and for those of you who have seen my videos, you've noticed it, but maybe didn't take any note of it. Especially when I go to the range. I use them in the backyard every now and then because I have a backstop. But at the range, I use them all the time because at the range, I like to shoot from 10 to 100 yards. And when I'm shooting those distances, I want to go set my targets up from 10 to that. So that's 10 targets all the way to 100. So that I can sit there and play with my meal dots. I can shoot 30 yards, 40 yards, all the way to 100. Then I can play around with it after that just to make sure the meal dots are accurate. Now, in order to do that, I need 10 targets, of course. And so I was upstairs making 10 targets because I have these around, and just grabbed one and brought it downstairs here today to show you what I do to make these targets and how simple they are and how free they are and how well they work. And of course, you know I love free anyway, right? Okay, so as soon as I show you this, it's just going to jump to mind, and some of you guys may already be using this. But let me see if I can get it for you, okay? Everybody's going to recognize this, okay? Okay, these signs are printed here in the United States. I don't know about you guys that are in other places, but here in the United States, every election, thousands of these things are printed and put on lawns all around the neighborhoods. Now, what I do is after the election's over with, I go all around and I collect as many of these things as I can in my neighborhood. And if I'm driving down the street in someone else's neighborhood and the election is about 2 days old or whatever, they haven't pulled them down yet, I'll go up and knock on their door and just say, hey, would you like for me to take those, or do you have a use for them? Well, 90% of the time, they tell me go ahead and take them. But I only stop at the houses where they have like at least 6. And some of these, I've been by houses, I swear, that have had at least, I don't know, 8 to 15 of them on the lawn. That's a gold mine when you stop there. So anyway, I'll stop and I collect these things. Now, when I get home, I know this, when I get them all, is I only want to shoot out I only need 10 of them to shoot out to the distances I want. But let me just show you the magic of what I think this thing is. You probably have already figured that out. This little sign here comes in 2 forms, okay? It comes with a sign, of course, and it comes with a piece of metal that's shoved into the ground to hold this up so passers-by can see your affiliation or what you believe in or what you want to vote for, okay? Now there's 2 kinds, so let me warn you about that. Some new ones out now I don't like. They're not environmentally safe and I don't like them. Okay, this one here is made of paper, so it is environmentally safe. Okay, the new ones that are coming out are made of plastic. It's a plastic cover just like this that slides over. I don't really like those, and I'm gonna tell you this: they don't work that well, I find, when it comes to setting up the targets and putting the splatter targets on here, as we'll talk about in a minute. But this one works perfectly. So you want to get a bunch of these as I do. You want to bring them home. The first thing you want to do is you want to there's either a stapler here or either it has been glued. You want to pop that loose. When you pop that loose, this is what you're going to end up with. So you pop this loose and you flip this over like this, and then you're able to then put splatter targets on it. Let me get this right there. Put splatter targets on it, and for me, as I said, I only need 10. So this piece of wire that is here, piece of wire that's here that goes in the ground, I'm going to have 100 to 150 of these things. I'm going to recycle those. I'm going to put them outside, let the guys who pick up metal come by and get them. And I'm just going to keep the paper because all I need is 10 of those. But I need as many of these as I can get. Okay. Once I get them over, the next process is this. And let me just share this with you right now. Okay. I buy these. I just got these on eBay. Okay. These are Splatterburst targets. Okay. I just got these on eBay for 50 of these for $38. And I buy them all the time. And it's a great buy because of this. You got 50 of them, but 50 times this is 350. You got 350 targets that you can shoot at with these. Now, I know I'm talking to a lot of you guys already with this, but let me talk to the guys who don't know about it. You can shoot at this. The great thing about this is that when they're hit at distance, they leave. You can see it because as they go through, they knock the black off, and you get this really, really light background that tells you where the pellet is hitting. Now, the nice thing about that is they're recyclable. And what I mean by that is this. You see all these little dots on here? Each one of these little dots will peel off and go over one of those shots. So you can actually go out and cover these and shoot at them again. And you see all these dots that are on here. They're all around. These little dots that go there. So one of these things will potentially give you a lot more shots than the 350 we've already talked about. Okay? So now let's talk about how we set it up. So splatter targets on eBay for $38. Don't ask me for links. Okay? If I can take the time to find it, you can too. I had to dig out the information. I'm telling you where it's at the easy way and what I paid for it. Okay? Now, let's talk about the second part. And that is setting up your target. Now I'm going to say, as I said, I'm going to set these things out from 10 to 100 yards. But what I'm going to do is this. These little ones here, I'm going to shoot these out to probably 30 yards. Yep, 30 yards, 10 to 30 yards. This thing's going to be filled with, just one of these is going to be filled with these. Then when I get to 40 yards, this one here, this medium-sized one, one of those is going to be filled with that from 40 to 50. Then when I get to 60 yards, 70 yards, 80 yards, 90 yards, all the way up to 100, they're going to be filled with these bigger ones for me to shoot at. So that way, I'm not wasting I'm not wasting lead and wasting these splatter targets shooting at this big old target here at 15 yards. It makes no sense. Okay, so that's how you're going to set it up so you get maximum use out of these splatter targets. Okay, now one thing you want to do though is at 100 yards, you may, if there's wind blowing or whatever, you might get some drift and you might get off paper, as I call it. Okay, and off paper, just all that means is off target. Instead of hitting this black, you hit out here. From 100 yards, you're not going to see that hole. Okay? So that's when this second splatter target comes in. Same thing, you guys. It's Splatterburst targets on eBay. I got this big one here. This thing is huge. I got this big one here. Try to get the glare down. I got this big one here for the same thing. $38 for 50 of them. And, you know, and as you can see in here, you got 5 different targets. But at 100 yards, I'm going to aim here to see where it's hitting. You can shoot this a bunch of times because this will take a while for you to mess this up to the point where you don't know you're hitting anymore. So between those two Splatterburst targets, you're going to be able to sit there and fill this thing up and sit there for an hour, hour and a half, as I do, without having to go back down there. When I get up to go pick this thing up, it's going to be time to go home. I'm not going to be going back out there. A lot of the guys, they'll say, make the line safe, and everybody has to wait. And as they go out there and pull out their new targets and come back, and that's going to happen several times during the time, I'm never going to get out of my seat. I'm just going to go over and find something to do until they get back, because that's how I'm going to set it up. So to me, that is one of the best things I ran across out there. So my advice to you, if you do, now don't say to me, Aaron, that doesn't stop a pellet. It doesn't. That one over there does. So when I'm at home, I shoot at that. When I go to a range where backstop is a problem, or if you shoot somewhere where the pellet bounce is not an issue, then this is the way to go. So with that, I just wanted to come out and do a quick video on this because tomorrow I'm going to the range and shoot for a little while and just have a little fun with a few of my guns. And I just wanted to share that with you guys so you can go out there and take advantage of this free resource, you know. And not only is it a free good resource, you're giving it a second life, because this is going to go right it's going to go right into the garbage after the election is over with. At least you can recycle it one more time. And as I say, stay away from the plastic ones. Go with the paperback ones, and you'll find. And I'm gonna tell you this now: if you really, really want to double up, now a lot of times what'll happen is, even though I have this many, if I shoot a lot, I go through these things. Okay, so what I'll do is, instead of wasting this back here, take your razor blade, go down the edge, get some tape, and tape this to there, so that you only waste this side, and then you got this side in reserve. You can double the capacity of this. But I have so many most of the time that I don't have to do that. I can just shoot right through them. But sometimes I find myself in October and November being a little short if I've been shooting a lot, and I have to split them in half and try and double them. That way, the capacity of the shooting on them. So with that, to share that with you. And I'm going to ask, I usually don't ask people to subscribe or anything like that. I stay away from that and the like and that sort of thing. But in this particular case, I will say this. I am trying to get to 10,000 people over the next year. I'm at 8.6 now, I think, 8,600. So if you could do anything out there to get some more people that you think might like my content and like the things I'm talking about, please, share my information with them. I will hope that then they would subscribe and ring the bell and do all the other things. So with that, I just want to thank you guys very much for watching. I want to thank you for your comments. I want you to know that I really, if you guys that comment to me, if you notice, I really, really try to come back with good answers to your questions, good responses to your comments, and that sort of thing. I don't want to feel as though I'm blowing any of you guys off. I know sometimes I'm on the computer, believe it or not, for 6 hours. And I know that sounds crazy, but 6 hours just responding, especially now that I have this hand problem and I can only type, I got to type almost with fingers. And that has really slowed down things for me. But that's not going to slow down my responses to you guys. So keep your comments coming. I'll get back to you as best I can, and as honestly as I can, and as helpfully as I can. Helpfully, that's a new word I made up. As helpful as I can. Anyway, you guys have a good one. Thank you for tuning in, and we have another video for you sooner than you think. Have a good one, guys.